This month, the Wandering Sword has teamed up with Marquette University to help with a major physics experiment.
They asked for swords, so we did our absolute best not to let them down.
By the end of this research, we want them to have no doubts why we are the Wandering Sword Project. My favorite part was the sign that said, "No weapons," on the physics building.
We referred to these as physics objects for the rest of the research. We met with Professor Vahil, and she explained the goal of her research experiment and how valuable this information could be to historians and reenactors.
When I go to museums and I see the pieces that are on display, they always tell me how long it is, and they always tell me how much mass there is, but they never tell me where the center of mass is.
Where it is. Yeah.
And I know that guys can build swords from the outside that look the same, but don't behave the same. So if we want to figure out more about how that piece was used, we need to know some more information about how it would rotate. I'm hoping that we'll be able to see some of that in the data that we have here, and maybe, just maybe, help those of you guys who are researching these things by convincing the museums that they want to give us more info.
The cool part of this research is that if they are able to showcase the value of their data points, it may change the way museums measure swords, like everywhere.
It could also help us better understand how these tools were used hundreds of years ago.
The data collection was kind of complicated, so we had to have the assistant instructors explain how all of this worked to us.
So here's the gravitational force, like acting down at the center of mass, and then here's the two upward forces from the scales.
Okay.
And then these distances are like the distance from the scale to the center of mass, the second scale to the center of mass, and then this is like the total distance.
Got it.
Easy.
Easy.
All of that is a very precise and measured way to tell how a sword is going to feel in your hand based on its physical properties alone. Weapons and swords with a center of balance that's far from the crossguard tend to be very swing or chop oriented. Swords with a balance close to the hand tend to feel lighter and more agile, which is really great for thrusts.
Even though most swords do both, it's exciting to see how historians can track these trends in sword making over thousands of years.
Of course, with all this talk about our physics objects and their history, we had to demonstrate.
Alright, so this totally fails, it's hilarious, everyone's got their phones out, you're looking good. Here's the katana, like we talked about.
This data set is only the beginning. We plan to come back next year and help Marquette University as they expand on the initial grant.
We can't wait to bring even more physics objects to compare and help people learn.
Until next time, wander on and cut!
The Wandering Sword would like to take just a moment to thank our sponsors. American Iron Gym, Medieval Extreme, Age of Craft, American Bowhurt, and be sure to use the coupon code SAMURAI at any of these fine establishments for some extra savings at no extra cost to you. And finally, shout out to all of our patrons. The Wandering Sword would truly be lost without the support of such fine individuals. You have our sincerest thanks. And extra special shoutouts to our Pathfinders, Cito Roman, Byron, Cage Bendak, Sir Fox, and Kayla Harris, Pathfinders of the Wandering Sword.
Check us out on Patreon. You can even sign up to get our Season 1 exclusive t-shirt. We are grateful for your contributions, and every bit helps us bring you more content. Like, subscribe, do all that stuff, but most importantly, wander on.